No scores. We go to the top of the third. The Rockies and Tyler Anderson making his debut against the former #1 Christian Friedrich. Our Coors timeless moment. 2007 season, a special one. Won Larry Walker at 366, slugged .720. That's ludicrous. 49 home runs, 130 RBIs, on his way to capturing the only MVP award in Rockies history. And here he is.
It said 2007.
Did it say 2097? Yeah. You know, we forgot about that.
I just
You're that old, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, this little snack aside, which we will be borrowing some of, I have to tell you, I'm really proud of you because you look great. And Huey said after we saw you last time and you looked really good, he said, listen, next time we see him, he'll be 30 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
But you're not. You look great.
I wasn't going to come here and allow that to happen.
No.
No, like I say, I don't want to have to go out and buy a new wardrobe, so I try to keep the thing because it goes on quick with me.
What are you doing? Been playing golf? I know you were on our Twitter, what is it, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, no,
when
that
we
was
were in
fun.
Boston.
Enjoyed that. But
Yeah.
yeah, a little golf here and there. Maybe a fishing once in a while.
You're outside.
Gardening.
You got the nice tan going.
Yeah.
Well, I'm working very hard.
I just golfed the last 2 days, so in Vegas, so it was 110 degrees there.
And you're going to golf tomorrow.
I am. I'm playing tomorrow. That's why I'm here.
In the Rockies tournament.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow down at the Pinery. Christian Friedrich at the plate. We hear from you, obviously. Huey mentioned on the Twitter account. I know you follow from afar. 2 clubs you played for with the Rockies and the Cardinals. What have you seen? What do you like that you've seen?
Well, I'm liking what this kid's doing on the mound for the first 2 innings.
Yeah.
And I've never really heard of him, but I guess this is his debut today. Does that sound right?
Yeah. So take us back to your debut. What was it like? Because I was talking about it. You know, it's almost surreal because you've worked so hard to get there, and then all of a sudden you're there. You say,
right.
wow.
Everybody was big. You know,
Yeah.
everybody was bigger. The ballpark's bigger. There's fans. There were more. It was just everything went from one side to a completely different side, and it's quite intimidating. And yeah, I remember against Mike Lacoste, the Giants in Montreal. Walked my first 2 times up. The second time I got to first base, and Will Clark looked at me and goes, "God, they're pitching you like you're Babe Ruth." And then I flared a single over the shortstop my 3rd at bat. So
that's pretty funny. And you should have retired right then, man. 1,000 on base percentage. You were good.
I probably wouldn't be interviewing you right now, or sitting here getting an interview
It's
with you.
actually the other way around. Well, I mean, if you want to,
Go
put
ahead,
that
take over. Take over.
Won't be quite as exciting. 1 out. John Jay steps up.
So you take batting practice anymore? When was the last time you hit a baseball?
I was with Team Canada, and I was swinging in the cage over in Taiwan. We had a tournament over there in November. I took a few cuts in the cage and ripped my left shoulder right out of the socket. So,
That was
I don't need to swing anymore.
Do you know who got in the
You were hurting the next day.
I'm good.
your old buddy got in the cage yesterday, Castilla, and Vinny hit. He hit about 4 or 5 in the seats.
Really?
He had a blast.
I mean, you know, Vinny.
He plays in the Mexican League every year.
The batting gloves on.
Oh,
He was swinging from his heels.
2 strikes on Jay. Ryan Spilborgs is with us as well. Spilly's down field level. He has a question for Walk. Spilly?
Walk, you told me when I was a minor leaguer, at some point you're in the big leagues and you'll realize you belong. It was one of the best pieces of advice I ever had, even though I never felt like I belonged. What day was it for you when it turned the corner?
Let me see. I got called up in '89, and I want to say, I think it was 1991 during the season there, and I had a game against the Padres in Montreal against Bud Black, and I swung the bat well, and it was after that game practically where it was like, my gosh, I guess things are going pretty well for me, and this is my moment where I feel I belong here. I made it. You know, it's successful.
But think about that, though. I mean, you broke in '89, but it wasn't until '91.
Yeah.
I mean, people think it's overnight.
Yeah,
but somebody even with your talent to be able to say, oh, it's still a 1.5 years later.
Yeah, no, it took a while, and like I say, you have little peaks, and that's what probably it took so long. I had a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys, and the valleys sometimes were longer than the peaks. So until those peaks got to be a little bit longer and more consistent, I didn't have that feeling.
Will Myers at the plate, 2 outs. We were talking about this in regard to Carlos Gonzalez, and again, you watch and keep tabs on the Rockies all the time. You realize, he's an immense talent. In fact, I know you've developed a relationship with him. He's been compared to you skill set wise through the years. You know, Cargo will have these periods where the other night in Los Angeles, back-to-back ball games, he struck out four times each. Yeah. People say, what's the matter? Then, you know, 2 days later, he hits a 3-run jack and has another RBI single. The previous week, he hit 8 home runs over a 10-game period. Right. Do you almost have to remind yourself, you know, take the peek at the back of the baseball card, say, hey, you know what, actually, I am pretty good?
You know what, the game has so many moments or weeks or days where you don't know how you're ever going to hit again, you know, because then those are the struggles that you got to fight through, you know. And I think I said that about Story. If he can be able to adjust to how they're going to be pitching him, you know, he got off that incredible start. All these guys behind home plate with radar guns that are watching him and scouting him are going to find his weaknesses, and he's got to be able to make adjustments at this level to stay successful. So, you know, like I say, Cargo just gets in those little funks, and sometimes it's a little mental thing, but I don't think it stays with him a long time. And he gets in those funks. He's trying to hit it in the third deck. You know, his swing is left center to right center, and that's where he's getting all his success if he stays between those parameters.
So how would you get out of one of those funks when you were in and say, when's my next hit going to come?
Right. Well, you know, a lot of times I would do just the opposite. I wouldn't hit. You know, the game would start, and the first swings I would take would be 15 minutes before the game in the cage, hitting the balls off the tee, and just go out there. For me, more was worse. So you sit there and try and study videos, which I didn't do anyway, try to figure that out. Or else you go out in the cage or in the field and take extra stuff, and you know, things are going bad. You're already messed up in your head, and you go out there and try more, and you're just making it worse. You're compounding the problem. So for me, less was better.
You know who was like that? Giambi. He would go out to the if he did hit, he would go out, and if after, say, 8-10 swings, couple rounds, he felt fine, he'd drop the bat, he'd watch his teammates hit, he wouldn't even finish the round. He's like, I'm good, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long season. You get a lot of swings in, and you can develop a lot of bad habits. And when things are bad, well, you know, so for me, it was just don't go out there and keep doing the same bad thing all the time.
Was there a guy that you liked to watch when you played? This ball's in the air, left center field. I'll tell you what, hold that thought. We'll get it when we come back. Larry Walker's with us. He's tanned, he's trimmed, and he brought snacks for us, which we're going to delve into here in a moment. No Score.